Okay, here we go. So try and keep this as short as possible. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions or need clarification. Tools that you will need: 2 golf balls taped together. This is just athletic tape. We can talk about the details of this. Possibly 2 tennis balls together. I'm thinking your body type is gonna like this more. A loop TheraBand that is fairly snug. 5 to 8 pound dumbbell, hopefully something that's kind of rounded. This is the air-filled ball. It's about probably 4 inches. The brand is Sport Time Air Ball, and it's 4 inches, it says on there. And then possibly a yoga block or a foam roller. We'll kind of play around with what works for you. So starting, we're gonna work from the top down. Your lower thoracic, upper vertebrae, okay, we call it the thoracolumbar junction, is stuck in extension. So we're gonna use your muscles, particularly these guys, to get it back. So it's called a thoracic car. Basically, you'll probably wanna do it standing just for the sake of the camera angle. My cameraman's out of town. So you're gonna cross your arms over your chest. If you want, you can grab onto a dumbbell. The purpose of doing this is to create irradiation or tension in the body, okay? So you're gonna flex your stomach muscles, tuck your rib cage down. You're gonna grab into your chest, and you're going to start to flex your spine. So you're gonna flex down until you see kind of right there, maybe a little bit lower on you moving. When you do that, it's not bending forward, okay? We're not hinging at the hips. Your hips and lower abdomen is staying pretty stable. After you flex down to that level, you're gonna rotate and then alternate. So notice I'm kind of shaking, right? You are using your muscles as much as you can. You're crunching down as if you're tucking your rib cage into really tight pants, right? You're really cinching in there, almost trying to like explode back there. The first movement is rotation, and then the second movement is side bending. So again, I'm not moving from here. You're just tilting, trying to use your muscles to open up that area. Side view, I'm flexed down, and then side bend and side bend. And again, I'll give you a zoomed out view. So nothing down here is moving. You're just there, 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 and then there, and then there. So again, really a lot of constriction in all of your muscles kind of rooting into the ground. Okay, that's the active way to get lower thoracic upper lumbar flexion. The passive way to do it is to position some type of yoga block or foam roller. I'm gonna move the camera here. Just above that position, that location. So it's gonna be kind of there-ish, right? We can assume that right here is where you're kind of stuck in an extension. So when you lie back, the block is maybe mid-thoracic, and then I do a little bit of a scoot. Okay, so I was here, I tuck down, and it's the same action of trying to cinch my rib cage down towards my spine. I'm hollowing out my abdomen, and I'm scooting my body down, and I'm hoping that that yoga block is grabbing onto my tissue and it's pulling up towards my head. Okay, so the foam roll version of it is similar. You position it kind of at that spot just above where you're stuck in extension, and then you lie back, and then you start to kind of hurl down. So I feel a stretch right there. I'm tucking my tail, I'm rounding under, I'm bringing my head forward, and I'm just cinching my rib cage down. Okay, moving on. We're gonna talk about getting your L4 forward now. So these guys, or tennis balls, are gonna go pretty much right at that lower lumbar spine. So I'm gonna do this facing away from the camera. You have your PSISs there, okay, little bumps that we feel. And then you've got your sacrum, that triangular bone. They're basically going there, Or if you look in the mirror, right, it's kind of like or when you bend forward, if you look in the mirror, it's kind of that, that rounded area, that extra rounded area in your spine. Okay, so you're gonna position them and then you're pretty much lying there. You can support your head if you want to. I'll give you a little better angle. Camera malfunction. This is when I wish I had a video editor, right? Okay, so hanging out, and then I feel pressure pretty close to my spine with them, and that's what we're looking for. This is not a soft tissue technique. This is an anterior, okay, posterior to anterior, sustained mobilization technique. Your breath is gonna be really important with this one, and when you inhale, I want you to poof up your belly, and then when you exhale, I want you to just think about your body dropping down onto that ball. So I don't think that if you have your legs straight, you're gonna get enough pressure into that. So that's why I'm gonna start with knees bent. You can play around with that, but you're literally just hanging out here for probably 5 or 10 minutes, and you're just letting your vertebrae sink into that golf ball and essentially let gravity take your spine down while the golf ball is propping that L4 back into its little happy home. Okay, moving on. Your psoas attaches to that vertebra that's too far forward. There's a way, I don't teach too many people this, but there's a way that you can release your own psoas, and you just need to be a little bit careful. I once had a friend say that he was doing great with the self-psoas release because he was up to a 25-pound plate. You cannot be competitive with the psoas release. 8 pounds, no heavier, maybe even 5. The best way to do it, so your psoas, they tell us 2 inches lateral to the umbilicus, just for a reference point, or just go to the outside of that rectus abdominis muscle, your 6-pack muscle that I know you have. Knees are bent. Don't shift your hips at all. Simply flop your knees over to the side. This exposes that muscle a little bit and allows you to set the weight. I'm going to show you a little skin here just so you can see. It allows you to kind of set the weight into that area. So we'll give you a little visual. You should feel it too. When you're on there, you'll feel that it's almost kind of tight and ropey. So it's just kind of in there. And then if you feel comfortable, so I'll kind of come off just so you can kind of see where my belly button is and then where the weight is. If you feel comfortable, you can start to work a little bit midline. So you may feel something kind of hard in there. That may be your vertebra, and that's okay. If you feel more comfortable, you can come knees back to neutral. If you want, when you're on the kind of that hard spot, you can do like a little bit of a posterior pelvic tilt, trying to keep your stomach muscles nice and relaxed. But it's okay to work in this area as long as you're not applying extra pressure and as long as you don't feel anything like intestinal. I think you'll be able to kind of tell the difference. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about trying to free up your sacrum and your sacroiliac joint. This air-filled ball is going to go underneath your sacrum. So if your sacrum is a triangular bone and it has that little bit of like an apex to it, a little bit of a curve, you want the ball directly underneath that curve. For me, it's pretty much in between my butt cheeks. So you're gonna lie onto your back and you are going to make sure that you're nice and balanced first. So if anything, I'll give you a better visual there. If anything, it's gonna feel like you wanna drop back like that. So if that happens, you're just gonna move it up an inch. For you, with that L4 being too far back, if your ball is up a little bit higher and potentially contacting that L4 where those golf balls were, that's okay. So you're there, you're gonna hang out here for 2 to 3 minutes, just breathe, just relax, let everything hang out, don't worry about holding your stomach muscles in. After you are nice and relaxed, you're gonna take your taut TheraBand and you're gonna put that around your knees and feet are on the ground, and then all you're gonna do is a little pulsing out motion. So goal of this is to engage your hip rotators that attach to your sacrum while your sacrum is balanced and nothing else around is. So it's a small motion, it's not a strengthening exercise. It is a bit of a repetition exercise though. So you can probably go for a good 30 or 40. The goal is to get these muscles a little bit tired so that they're fatigued, not necessarily get them tired so that they have to strengthen, right? They're probably already tight enough, but you're basically creating a little bit of a wiggle action. You're trying to free up that SI joint. Okay, after you're done with that, and you'll know it works well, it has worked when you lie back off the ball and it's just kind of like, oh, that feels so nice. So if not, you probably didn't have it in the right position or you didn't do it for long enough. Okay, last one. You are going to try to find muscles on the outside of your hip that pull your innominate or your hip bone away from your sacrum. Kind of a shot in the dark on this. A lot of times I have to cue people in order to get the right muscles to fire. This is gentle, right? All I'm doing is gently pushing my leg out, but with this hand, I'm not allowing that to happen. So from a top view, I'm here about neutral, and then all I'm doing is engaging isometrically, trying to see if I can find some kind of muscle like here-ish, and you're gonna then, after you've done 6 seconds or 10 seconds there, nice and gentle, so you don't want to feel like a lot of other muscles firing, you're gonna adjust. So right now, if I'm directly over my hip, I'm gonna come slightly more towards midline, and then you're gonna, again, engage out. You can straighten that other leg. Again, another maybe 10 degrees towards midline, engage out, and then again, engage out, and then again, engage out, and then maybe even one more. This almost is starting to look like a low trunk rotation, right? Engage out slightly. Check out my fingertips. This is literally just fingertip pressure. If you do too much, you're gonna get something like that and you've lost the benefit of the exercise because those ligaments are really strong and they're gonna hold on. So you've gotta kind of go sub-threshold. If you want, you can start a little bit wider to see if you can make sure that you're getting those muscles to fire, and then just try to keep those same ones on all the way across, kind of windshield wiper style. You are only gonna do this on the right. If you want, you can compare with the left side. It's not gonna do any damage, but I just don't think you need it as much on the left. So just to kind of save time and effort, stick with that. So that's that. I think we got them all covered. I hope this helps. I'll send you an email. Thanks for being patient with my awful cinematography. And is that the word? It's been a long day. Talk to you soon.